I just want to spread the awareness of addiction, whether they are prescription, alcohol, illegal hard drugs, or some other kind of substance. Many times there are people who turn to drugs as a coping mechanism to deal with something traumatic. Now there are other people who just simply fell with the wrong crowd and feel like they can't live without it. I know some people will say about the person doing the drugs chose drugs or the bottle over their family, friends. The thing about them choosing the drugs over loved ones is not what is in the mind of an addict. To be honest, I never realized how easy it was to fall into addiction until the issues with the medications. For 2 years, I was so used to it being numbed in my head. I struggled with the constant battle in my head telling me to take more so that way it would be numbed in my head and I would feel better. I would be feeling sick to my stomach with my stomach burning. I would end up with a cough and horrible runny nose. I was itchy and had a high heart rate. I had to take the medications to feel better and could not function without it. I could not live like that, so I went to a treatment detox center for help. Now, I can completely relate to how you may hate the drug or substance, but your body will be screaming for it as if it really needs it until you give into it. You can hate the drug, but in your head it's telling your body to react as if it needs it when it doesn't. There are people who think that being addicted to just one thing is nothing. That is not true at all. Addiction is addiction no matter how you look at it. The first several months after detox, I had a huge struggle with the constant battle in my head, telling me to take stuff to be numbed in my head. Nights were the worst. My body would be reacting like it needed all the medications. It made it so I couldn't sleep and had restless legs so bad that nothing helped. I was lucky to get 1 hour of sleep of that in one night. To be honest, I have accidentally overdosed, but by the grace of God I survived. It got to where I had to take the medications right when I got up in order to feel okay, otherwise I would end up feeling really sick. I never realized how easy it was to fall into addiction until my experience with the medications, especially the narcotics. I was having withdrawals when it hadn't been for hours yet, and with me fighting it, it was affecting my heart. You don't even have to have a history of any kind of addiction to get addicted to something. To my opinion, as far as medication go, I don't think being prescribed medications is the main factor for addiction and overdoses. I believe, and with personal experience with medications, that the real reason for addiction and overdoses is because they get failed. People are suffering with obvious signs of addiction and no one will help them. I went on a load of medications, including narcotics, and given a deadly combination.
When I went to the prescribing doctor, I was told it was normal. I knew it was not normal and I was on too much medication. I knew I was addicted to it and told the doctor that. She still told me how I was feeling was normal. I knew it was only normal if I was severely addicted to it. I was having life-threatening withdrawals affecting my heart, and I tried to cut myself down on the medications. However, when I had tried to cut myself down, I was physically reacting as if I had no medicine in me. I was afraid that I would accidentally overdose and then it would be on the news of another person who died of a drug overdose. I was afraid that my sister's kids would be wondering why I overdosed, but not knowing it was an accident. I have lost a lot of people to drug overdoses. I also had a very good friend that died from a drug overdose. She originally never had a drug problem until early on in life when she was given a prescription and got addicted to it. That feeling of it being so hard to handle and feeling the need for something to replace what you were addicted to lingers on. I can understand how that felt and the urge to do so. I just chose to not do it. It took a lot of strength and willpower to do so. It took relying on God to help me through. I'm very thankful for the good people who stayed by my side through this whole detoxing situation, even though not many people knew. I know God puts people in our life for a reason. I told my counselor how I was feeling before detox. She explained to me that you needed to progressively work through things like pain, feelings, and trauma. If you go from up and down constantly from a little pain to a lot of pain, then you're not gaining anything from the medication. Also, drinking is another thing. All you are learning to do is either shut off your pain, feelings, or trauma or deal with it. So when it wears off, you become sober and then you feel like you can't deal with it. God can turn your addiction into victory, but you have to let Him in and trust in Him.